Hello students, we are on the last part of morphology of flowering plants. In this lecture, we are going to start with semi-technical description of a typical flowering plant. What does this mean, semi-technical description of a typical flowering plant? There is a certain way in which a flowering plant has to be described. In NCERT, we will learn some semi-technical ways of describing a typical flowering plant. It will be somewhat less detailed and suited to your level. There are three things that need to be considered while describing a flowering plant, and that is description has to be brief. You cannot use lengthy sentences. It should be in a proper scientific language and it has to be in a proper sequence. These are the three rules that we need to follow for describing a flowering plant. A flowering plant can be described in terms of its genus or in terms of a species or in terms of families. In NCERT, the flowering plants have been described in terms of families, and we have to learn two such families. Important things used in description which have to be written in a proper sequence. This is very important. The first thing that we write in the description is the habit. It means whether the plant is annual plant or biennial or a perennial plant, whether it's a herb, shrub or a tree. Second thing which is included in the description is its vegetative characters. Vegetative characters comprise of the characteristics of its root, whether taproot or fibrous roots, characteristics of its stem, whether it's an underground stem or an aerial stem. If aerial stem, whether it is branched or unbranched, whether it's hollow stem or it's a solid stem, whether it is hairy or it is non-hairy stem. Then about its leaves. Leaves you have to write whether the leaves are simple leaves or compound leaves. If compound, what kind of compound leaves. You have to write about its phyllotaxy, etc. These points are described in the vegetative characters. The third thing that comes in the description is floral characters. Floral characters, very important. In floral characters, we write about inflorescence, whether it's a racemose inflorescence or cymose inflorescence. Then if it is a solitary flower, then if it is terminal or axillary flower, we write about the floral parts, that is the calyx, numbers, then arrangement, aestivation. The characteristic features of each of the floral parts are described in this manner for calyx, corolla, Androecium and Gynoecium under floral characteristics. Fourth thing that comes in the description is floral diagram. Each flowering plant can be represented by a diagram, If you look at the floral diagram, you can say so much about its floral characteristics. The floral diagram tells you about the numbers of the floral parts. It tells you about the arrangement of the floral parts and the relationship of the floral parts with the other floral members or the members within the same verb. So floral diagram, this is important, what I'm writing in bracket. It tells you about the number, arrangement and relationship with other floral parts. A floral diagram looks like this. In the floral diagram, you will see a dot on top of the diagram. That dot represents the mother axis. The mother axis, that is the stem. You see the flower in relationship to that mother axis. A dot on top of floral diagram represents mother axis. Next thing in the description is the floral formula. Floral formula will be like, there will be a set of 6 to 7 symbols. These symbols is a symbolic representation of that flower. By just looking at a set of 6 to 7 symbols, you will be able to say so much about that plant. You can write almost a paragraph about that plant just from a set of 6 to 7 symbols. We will be looking at a floral formula in some more detail in this lecture. And the last thing that is cited in the description is examples and importance. Through NCERT, we are going to describe two plant families, and the two families are Brassicaceae family and Solanaceae family. Before that, we will see how this floral formula is written. Floral formula, you can define this as the symbolic representation of flowering plant. So there will be a set of 6 to 7 symbols. Like I told you, what are these symbols? The last 4 blanks will be for the 4 floral whorls. Then one is a gender, one is a symmetry, and one is whether the plant is bracteate or ebracteate. First we write whether the plant has bracts or no. If the plant has bracts, then we use the symbol BR or EBR. EBR for ebracteate, and BR stands for bracteate. If the plant is bracteate, it is definitely written. If the plant is ebracteate, this blank may not be filled. Also, if it is ebracteate, directly from the second blank we start writing. Find the second thing that comes in this floral formula is symmetry. If the flower is actinomorphic, then we use this symbol. If the plant is zygomorphic, we use either the percentage symbol or the plus symbol. And if the plant is asymmetric, we use a short form ASS. Third thing that we need to write over here is about the gender of the flower, whether it is a male flower, which is represented by the male symbol. If it is a female flower, then we use the symbol for the female. If it is a bisexual flower, then we use a combination of both male and female symbols, that is this bisexual flower. Next is the floral word calyx. The symbol used for representing the calyx is capital letter K. Now the number of the sepals will be written in the form of a subscript under this capital letter K. For example, K subscript 4 means that there are 4 sepals in this flower. However, if I write capital K letter with a subscript 4 but 4 is in brackets, it means that the 4 sepals are fused sepals and they are not free, unlike this. This means that it's a gamosepalous condition. Remember gamosepalous? And what about this one? K with free sepals. This is polysepalous condition. K, 2 plus 2. What does this mean? It means that 2 sepals are outside and 2 sepals are inside. The first one that comes is either outer or upper, and the ones written later are either inner or will be lower. Alternately, you can write this as K4 also, but which one will give you more information? K2 plus 2 will give you more information rather than simply writing K4. Next thing that we talk about in the floral formula is about the corolla. And for corolla, we use the symbol capital letter C. Capital letter C with subscript 4. What does this mean? There are 4 petals in the flower. However, if I use this symbol C, subscript multiplication sign and then 4. What does this mean? That the petals are in multiples of 4. That means the flower is a tetramerous flower. And if I write capital letter C, subscript 4 in bracket, what does this mean? That there are 4 petals that are fused. That is, it's a gamopetalous condition. However, in some plants like lily, you cannot distinctly make out which is the sepal and which is the petal, because the sepal is gradually fused with the petal in such a manner that the sepal and the petal is one unit only. They are not like 2 separate distinct units. What is this type of floral whorl called? It's called a perianth, which is seen in lily, and the individual member of the perianth is the tepal. If the plant has a perianth, it is written as capital letter P, and then the same subscripts may be used to describe it. Next we talk about Androecium. For Androecium, we use the symbol capital letter A. Capital letter A, subscript 1 plus 9, wherein 9 is in brackets. What does this symbol indicate? It indicates that there are total 10 stamens and 9 of which are fused together and 1 is separate. Do you remember this condition? We had learnt this in adhesion. This is a diadelphous condition that is seen in the pea bean flower, Leguminosae family. This is diadelphous condition. If I use the symbol A, subscript infinity, what does this mean? There are so many stamens, you cannot count them all. For example, in hibiscus, you will not just keep counting them all, right? So it is written as infinity. Next, if there is a curved line between A and some other whorl of the flower, do you know what it will mean? It will mean that the stamens are attached to that particular whorl of the flower. In the symbol, you see that there is A, there is C written before, and there is a curved line in between C and A. It means that the stamens are attached to the petals. What is this condition called? It's a epipetalous condition. Moving on to the last, that is the gynoecium. For gynoecium, we use the symbol G, and the number of ovaries are written down below in the subscript. For example, what does this mean? G and 2 in brackets. It means that it's a bicarpillary syncarpous ovary. But what if I use the symbol G, 2 in subscript, and you see that there is a line under G. What does this mean? It means it's a bicarpillary syncarpous superior ovary. This is an indication of superior ovary. So can you infer how will be the symbol for an inferior ovary? For an inferior ovary, the symbolism will be capital G, subscript 2 in bracket, and a line above G, which will indicate that it's an inferior ovary. If you have to describe this symbol, you have to read this as bicarpillary syncarpous inferior ovary. So you see that such large words can be just compressed in small symbols, and as such, through a set of 6 to 7 symbols, so many things can be inferred about that particular plant. That is the whole essence of learning about the floral formula and also about the floral diagrams. Let us solve 5 MCQs from this part. In the semi-technical description of a flowering plant, the correct sequence of description is, the correct answer will be C. It starts with habit, then vegetative characters, then floral characters, floral diagram, and floral formula. Question 2. Which of the following symbols in a floral formula correctly represents a bisexual flower? The correct answer will be A. B is for male flowers, C is for female flowers, and D is for zygomorphic. That's for symmetry, not for sexuality of the flower. Question number 3. In a floral formula, fusion, cohesion between members of the same whorl is represented by what? A line drawn above the symbols is used for representation of adhesion, not cohesion. B. Enclosing the number within brackets. Is this correct? Yes, this is the correct answer, right? Enclosing the number within brackets indicates cohesion. A line drawn above symbols indicates adhesion. Next, a floral diagram primarily provides information about, correct answer will be number, arrangement, and relationship of floral parts. That will be C. Question number 5. In a floral diagram, the mother axis is represented by, answer will be C, a dot at the top of the floral diagram, right? 1C, 2A, 3B, 4C, 5C. That will be it from this lecture. In the next lecture, we will learn about the description of the first family, that is the Brassicaceae family.
In the name of Lord Mahadev, please subscribe.